Hello everybody and welcome to the Elite Dangerous live stream. This is the beta feedback stream 2. I'm Edward Lewis, part of the community management team here at Frontier Developments, and here with me to answer your questions like a machine gun, firing you the answers down the barrel of the camera, right into your faces. But then the bullets, they stop and they become bullets of love, and little lovely creatures, and they crawl and they stroke your face and then go and climb into your ears and whisper the answer to your questions.
Sometimes
pleasing, sometimes not pleasing. Ed doesn't go on the left. Someone's angry that Ed is on the left. Yeah, it's all gone. It's all gone off. I'm sorry. With me, of course, we have Sandro Sammarco.
Hello.
Lead designer on Elite Dangerous.
So they tell me.
What you been designing?
Stuffs.
Yeah, stuffs.
Yeah,
okay,
secret stuffs.
We'll leave it there. So you've got a couple of special guests with you as well here today. I think we should talk about those two before we get into the meat and potatoes, as it were.
What's it to say? Space Loach, Space Zorse, you know.
Yeah.
It's all good.
What's he called?
Space Zorse.
Space Zorse.
Well, clearly he's a zebra and a horse.
Yes.
Yeah, so
yeah, thanks everybody.
Time to bring out the big guns.
Last week we invited you on, and you had a big list of questions. I think you had sort of 60 or 70 questions.
Something like that. It was a lot of questions, yes.
And we got through quite a lot of those.
I think most of them.
Whilst I just messed around on the screen over here, which I had a lot of fun. That's why I'm on the right hand side, because the screen is here and it makes it easier for me to play the game so I don't crash like last time. Not promising you I won't crash though. So today, we're at Farseer Inc. Everyone knows where Farseer Inc. is, in open play. So if you want to come and have some fun and drive around the planet's surface and fly about and kill some stuff and shoot some things and shoot at me while I'm in an SLV, then do come and do that, because we're there at Farseer Inc. in open play right now. While Sandro answers the real tough, hard, awesome questions.
Yeah, I've got more questions. Thank you very much, everyone who posted questions. There are a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I think possibly there are even more questions this time than there were last time.
Do you think you'll get through them?
I really don't think I will this time.
You said you've promised that you won't talk as quickly.
Oh yeah, so yeah, apologies last time for my rather rapid talking. I'm going to try and take it a little bit more slowly, so unfortunately it means that we might not get through quite as many, but hopefully the answers will be more legible. So it's worth pointing out a lot of the questions that came through were lovely, but a lot of them weren't actually really focused on the beta. But I'm going to try and answer them as best I can. I just want to preface it with, you might hear quite a lot of, I'm not sure, I'm not allowed to say, no.
So Rusty Dog says here, so questions from live chat will be largely ignored.
So no, I don't want to ignore them. I will try and answer to the best of my ability. I won't always be able to give you the answers you want, but
that's it.
Hopefully I'll be able to give you a few pointers to how we're thinking, at the very least.
I think that's what this is all about. It's about the fact that we've received some great feedback from you guys. We want to make sure to say thank you for that feedback. And also, I think that we've got some actually very cool announcements as well.
I hope so. We're going to
throughout.
Couple of
hopefully
bits.
At some point I'm going to get a knock at the window, and I'm going to be able to, the special knock, and be able to give some very good news as well, some very cool news. And actually there's some tidbits in here.
Yeah, there's a few bits and bobs,
cool,
hopefully, that will go down smooth.
Yeah. Spudnik says, sorry if the posts were mean. You've come on, you've been like, oh, I'm all Sunday and I need looking after.
that's true in many ways anyway.
They're all like, oh, we shouldn't have really been mean to this person.
Don't worry, I've got rather thick skin, so
all right.
I will cope, I will survive.
By the way, look at us here. We've got this new sort of, look, I mean, wait, it's all mirrored, but look, we've got a little thing here. It's all in front of my hand.
Oh, look at that.
I don't know. It just happened. I came in, it was just there. We've got this new camera as well. We're full screen. We're a little green because of the green screen, but other than
I like to think I'm being backlit. I'm being backlit by the space station, the light of the space station.
It's kind of cool, isn't it?
Wow.
Should we show the video later of us in the cockpit?
I don't know whether we should do that. I kind of doubt that we should do that, but...
No, let's not do that.
Yeah.
All right, great. Okay, so yeah, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. A good lot of people in the chat, so let's have a really, really fun hour or so, hour-ish time.
Yeah, something like that.
Depends how long we go for. So yeah, let's, I mean, first of all...
Gringador, how much was Michael Brooks's axe? I don't know, but whatever it was, he got it cheap. It's redonkulous. It weighs about as much as me. It's terrifying. As a motivational tool instead of Jira, I think it's going to do quite well.
Very good. Just run at people with an axe. It's so heavy.
You don't have to run at them. You just have to kind of get them to lay down in front of you and let gravity
All right, take it away,
thing.
Sandy. What are your first sets of questions? I know you've got a big
Okay,
set of
so
questions
I'm just going to slowly go through them, and they'll probably be in rather anarchic order, but let's just see where we get to. So the first one is Huita. I hope I'm saying the name's right, by the way. Sorry if I'm not. After 2.1 goes live, will special effects ever be rebalanced again? Not talking about fixing bugs and stuff, just tweaking the numbers. Thing is, if people spend quite a lot of time and money for something custom, and the effects suddenly change, it will probably make people mad. On the other hand, some overlooked bonus might be good enough to become the new meta and take any variety away. No idea how I would handle this myself. That's why you're asking me, I'm asking you. It's a very good question, Huita. Well, we have to reserve the right to rebalance and retweak. So it almost certainly at various points will happen. We will probably make various tweaks. We've had really good feedback, and we've already made lots of changes during the beta. And hopefully there won't be too many significant changes that will make people really upset about modules they've already got. But it's an ongoing live game, so we do reserve the right. And some of the changes can happen kind of behind the scenes and just drift through on server updates, which commanders won't even know about. And other ones, they would have to come through client updates. So it's very much a kind of a horses for courses thing with those questions. So yes, it is a tough one, which is why the beta's been so useful so far. Next question is from, I never know how to say this, whether it's Pesic or Peshik.
Yeah,
well, hello to you, however your name is pronounced.
yeah.
I'm going to be saying that a lot. Full-blown models are full-blown ship damage models for big ships. When and how would they come into the game? At this point, we see more and more wrecked, detailed bits of ships floating around, but we still don't see so much damaged ships as wrecks in space, or actually ships that you can save. Is this still work in progress? Sorry, I've got nothing to report on that now. It clearly has been quite important in the past, and so I can't give you any guarantees or ETAs, but it's certainly not something that we've forgotten about. It's just in the big list of things to be looked at.
Big list. The big list might be mentioned a lot.
It may well be. So you've also asked, I've said in the previous stream, you won't get full modules scoopable from Rex, but maybe some rare materials, maybe blueprints. And you remember David talking about getting nice loot from Rex. And now loot's degraded to materials. It feels a bit of a step back from the original concept. Is that something you might reevaluate later on?
Proceed to landing pad 01.
I thought I turned
down the road. Wow!
I thought I turned him down. I'm sorry.
That genuinely frightened me for a second.
Well, that's why I need. What's happening? I'm being shot at already. What a surprise!
Yeah, part of this, the answer to this question is it's kind of how development works. It's some things gain importance and lose importance and do change as time goes on. However, in the future, and I can't say when because I don't actually know, we're not ruling out plans to collect various types of loot and rewards directly from shipwrecks. It's not happening at the moment, but it's not completely impossible. So, not at the moment is the answer to that one.
Good answer.
Right, so...
Warning, landing gear not deployed.
Oh, come on, Ed. Landing gear, that's obvious.
No. Scratch in there.
Alien says, what the heck am I wearing? I'm wearing my hat, and my hat is...
I need to turn that down, so that's going to be louder than your speech, and I'm just going to make sure that it's turned down.
It's probably more useful than my speech, in fairness.
Absolutely.
I'm wearing Space Lurch on my hat, and I have Zorse and my Space Zorse on my shoulder. Osric, it's not another Loach. It has legs and everything. Just to let you go.
It's just
thank you, Matty P 1239. It's a Zorse.
It's
Space
a little bit bizarre.
Clairvoyant, I like that name. What's the recipe for Loach soup? Is that offensive? I mean, poor Loach.
Probably. Anyway, back on the serious questions.
So yeah,
Sandy.
back to serious questions.
I'm going to crack
right.
my whip on Sandy, so he starts talking about the Loach and the Zorse.
Let's go on to do another quick one, which is. Okay. So I think is this Gina Hofoen?
Herfen, I think we went.
No,
for last time.
it looked like Hofoen. Because he did get back to us on that.
Did he?
I apologise.
And what did he say?
I probably got. Well, he said. I think he said. That's how he says his name. Pronounces his name. I don't know whether it's Gina though or Genna. Anyway, he says now that we've got the root, well, now that we know that the root plotter is in fact capable of plotting from one end of the galaxy to the other, can we at least raise the limit to 2,000 light years? Well, the problem is that it's not entirely reliable plotting those huge distances. It can work. It is capable of doing it, but it's not 100% guaranteed. So that's why we still have the limits. We may raise it in the future by some amount, but we're not going to do that now because we need it to pretty much work every time. If, for example, there are certain situations if you got into a big fight and there were ships flying around, Gina Hofoen, but is that G or G? I don't know. So if you've got into a big fight and there are lots of things going on, the route plotter can get quite into a bit of a mess. So the limits ensure that it's nice and stable. So who knows? But at the moment, it's not going to get any higher. And also, you ask a related question: can we get plotted routes saved between games, and can we get waypoints? And I think Frostypaw also asked, can we get waypoints? Waypoints, I believe, are technically possible. Clearly not for 2.1. In the future, if there's a strong enough desire for them, they could maybe get in the list somewhere. I mean, I can certainly see the benefits of them. So maybe so it says doable, but not on the immediate radar. Cool. And I think Frostpaw also said, can we get the ability to save your plotted routes in a number of slots ready to be recalled? There's probably a little bit more work involved in that. Again, I don't think it's impossible, but I think there are some technical challenges. So that's probably a little bit less likely. That's my layman's version. Of an answer to that. The guy on the left seems like a sorry sod.
Yeah, I read that. All right.
Which left?
I'm the left with this one.
Oh, come on. Just because he drives like a herper.
Because I haven't said anything for a while.
He's fine.
Warning, my ship's under attack. Thanks, guys. Yeah, you attack my ship.
Why Kung Fu Ferret says, why didn't Ed just get into the SIV at the station?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's better than... I don't know an answer to that one. Sorry, Kung Fu Ferret.
It's all going off here.
So, okay. Another question. Lunaticity. I'm sorry. I think that's about right. Will rank with engineers only be gained through generating blueprints, as it is in 2.1 Beta 4? How about doing missions for them as well, or a mix of both? So. I think I might have answered this last time, but it's worth reiterating. There's no plans immediately to add in missions for engineers. That's actually a lot of work from many different disciplines to get that to work to a level that would make it worthwhile. It is a lovely idea, and it's not something that it's not something that we're going to rule out. For now, though, that's not on the cards. However, we are adding the ability to increase your reputation with engineers by handing in bounty vouchers.
So this can I just say,
yeah?
you've sort of, I want to preface this with, this is a big deal, what you're about to say.
This is, I think it's a pretty big deal. I mean, I think it's kind of, we've maybe mentioned it before as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think it's a big deal. So handing in bounty vouchers, possibly combat vouchers, exploration data, and handing
and sorry. I thought you were talking about something else.
No, this is
my bad. That's a spoiler from my point of view.
Yeah,
I truly am a sorry sod right now.
I think this is a pretty nice thing, though. I think that, we've got a lot of feedback on engineers and on the way that you increase your reputation with them. And
go on, lads.
Wow, they are driving on your ship as
it's
taking off. So. So yes, we are going to add some more ways, and in the future, the idea of having specialised missions, it's a nice idea, and again, it's something that we're not done with missions. We're never done with missions. We're never done with most aspects of the game. So it might happen at some point.
To make me look less like an idiot, can you go into the bit that I thought you were talking about?
You know what? Well, yeah, okay. So let's just quickly check I just want to quickly check the stream.
Yeah, good stuff.
Are you going to up the are you going to up the limits on the items we can collect by aging hippie? I need a bit more data. What do you mean? Which items? Are we talking materials? Are we talking crafted upgrades? If you can get back to me on that one, maybe I can answer that.
I'm on it. I've got it. I'm on top of the cut. Oh my.
And then Cooper Eurus says, can we change the name to Tinkerers? A debuter engineer will not toss together a bunch of materials without at least having a clue of the outcome they're building. No, we can't. They're engineers. What they do is pretty amazing, and the fact that it's not always very precise and the same as the one they did before doesn't mean that what they're doing isn't amazingly complex and good. So they are engineers. So to help Ed, I've got a bunch of questions here that were asked. Now, let's just go through them. What have we got? We've got Mad Mike.
Read them nice and fast.
After feedback, do you feel there is after feedback, do you feel there is merit in the suggestion that certain amount of random chance and actual base weapon stats should be decoupled from the random elemental or secondary effect? Maybe secondary effect should be something we pick, or is based on engineer skill, or is based on what materials we choose to supply. And Frosty Paw says, regarding engineer modifications and experimental effects, special effects, can they not be tied permanently to receiving a poor roll with the stats? That way it's not random and self-balances. I've also got Babelfish. Many players don't like the way we obtain special effects. Is there something that could be changed in the future by removing the animation or replacing the current mechanic with something else? Methane says special experimental mods are currently implemented as a surprise bonus element, but in practice we're already designing entire loadouts around them. Any chance of giving us more control over them? Flimley says, special effects weapons, is there a possibility when at the engineer's shop we could instead optionally select preferred special effect? Monk says, I know it's been asked, but repetition shows support, right? Since special abilities now throw a wrench into an otherwise good or lucky roll, would it be possible to reject special ability or just re-roll abilities at some lesser cost? Vinman says, with 2.1 engineers, I like the idea of every module will be completely unique. That said, I feel the gamble for weapon special effects is too unpredictable. Have we ever considered making them a separate gamble? Captain Hooch says, with all the heated arguments over the RNG, that's random number generator, and engineers, are there any plans to change the system to give players a little more input into what they get, such as letting us choose a secondary effect or letting us pick which special we want? Malik says, can the special effect be separated from the upgrade roll into its own upgrade module? The Burn or the Bernie. Do you plan to change the method with obtaining special effects on weapons? Mad an option to keep the effect when we roll, when trying to roll again on the modifications weapon. And there's probably a few more that I didn't get to.
A few more that came on Twitter, a few more that came on, and all sorts.
Yeah, so there's a bunch. So so the short answer is now yes, there will be. So based on the feedback, and we've had lots of internal discussions on this about this as well. We've decided we're going to, and this is going to come probably in a 2.1 update. So it's I don't think it's going to come at the end of the beta, but it's going to come before 2.2. So what we're going to do is, yeah, I was just saying no at the end. I really should have said, I should have rolled some dice and said no, but no. So that would be a bit too harsh. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to add an adjustment option for when you generate an upgrade for a module that can take an experimental effect. What this adjust option is going to allow you to do is going to allow you to pick the special experimental effect that you want. So you will be able to do it. However, as with all good compromise, there is a cost. Okay. So, and this is, you're probably going to hear more of this in the future, actually, I suspect, as we go forward in 2.2 and further onwards. Internally, we've been talking a lot about the concept of favours. Mainly it started as faction favours, so I get in with a faction and they give me better missions and they're doing other things, but they're also potentially giving me favours that I can then call in to get cool benefits from them. And the concept behind favours is that they're consumable. You eat them up, and not only do you eat them up, but when you call them in, just as you do when you call in a favour for a person, you lose a bit of respect with them. Okay. Because, you know, they're like, okay, you're going to call in a favour, well, it's going to cost you. And so that's the way it's going to, I think it's going to work with engineers, in that when you decide to choose the special effect that you want, the special experimental effect, you will have to pay with reputation. So there will be some amount of reputation you have to pay with that engineer. So it's it gives, hopefully, it gives everyone what they want, but it's not just this freebie thing that you get to choose. There's all a cost. So I hope that most people will think that's a pretty good thing. I mean,
well, I think
these kind of they're not Zulu Romeo, they're not those kind of favours. So I hope that it's people can see where we're coming from with this. We want to keep it with context, but also we do love the feedback, and even when sometimes it gets a bit passionate, it's really cool, and we do try and listen.
Well, I think that's what somebody's there said it's a good solution. So hooray, I like it. It sounds reasonable. I think that's a really awesome response, and I'm pleased to see that people seem to be keen on that. Like I still think it keeps the spirit of how things are supposed to.
I think it's the engineers were never meant to be this kind of mass factory of I get exactly what I want. They're always meant to be these kind of maverick geniuses on the fringe. But I totally understand the feedback we were getting where people are, like Methane said, with the people planning roles around some of these experimental effects. That wasn't the initial intention really, but it's clearly an outcome that a lot of people follow through. So I think this uses some mechanics and features that we're working towards anyway. You're being driven over there.
I know, it's crazy. Yes,
and I think it gives. I think it gives a pretty good result. So, so
somebody else
saying there'll still be a random chance to get a special. Yeah, sure. So this is completely additional.
Yeah.
So if you roll that,
you might just roll it.
You get that good generation where it's like got good stats. You've got a special effect, an experimental effect that I want. Then you're laughing basically. And it's also there's a lot of choice involved in that. What do you want to do? You'll go through the low levels of reputation with an engineer reasonably quickly, so you'll be able to, I think, quite often get the experimental effects you want for those. But for the higher upgrades, the higher blueprints, then it's a bit more work involved because it needs to be. These are not some of the benefits of these higher end upgrades are significant, so then there needs to be a cost to it.
Philip Parker in the chat says, "What's that thing on his neck? What thing am I on it? Oh my god."
Apologise, Laws.
What's that?
Apologise.
I don't know. No, it's a birthmark. It's What are we talking about? It's fine. I literally don't even notice until people mention it. But I thought I'd mention it just to make sure you're not concerned about me or thinking that the Zorse.
That's what I'm saying. He's all lying.
Yeah, you should see the other guy. Wait. One more thing. I've got some cool news that I've just been given the okay to give you as well, which is fantastic. But do join me on the Planet Surface. Let's get some SRVs and a nice big meetup. I think there's about 6 or 7 of us there now, but there's space for more. So come and join us on the Planet Surface in your SRV for a bit of fun, and then you're going to carry on answering more questions.
Awesome.
You've got loads more to answer.
I've got millions. I'm not going to get through all of them. Apologies to any questions I don't answer.
As many as you possibly can, but I hope that's people. Yeah. Also, we are a bit green, but apparently that's because of
Well, that's my normal colour.
That's what we always look
like.
My
Mediterranean skin.
But here we go.
Wrong.
So it's fun announcement news time.
Ooh.
All right. So which one should we go for first?
That one.
This one.
I don't actually.
Okay.
No.
So the first piece of news is for everybody here playing today. For those who don't have access to the beta and are looking forward to Elite Dangerous Horizons, the Engineers, to be released, it will be available on Thursday, May the 26th. Thursday, May the 26th is when it's going to be made available to all.
Boom Shanker.
Are you excited about that?
Very excited.
Are you excited about that? I hope so. Great. So there's a bit of news for that. 2.1 live. Then that's what Alex Ixton says. 2.1 live when? 2.1 live when? So there you go. 2.1 live will be live on Thursday, the May 26th. That's next week. By Jove.
My goodness.
By Jove.
Goodness gracious me.
And in other news as well.
Okay, there's more.
On June the 3rd,
there's more.
Xbox One players will be happy to know that Elite Dangerous Horizons will be coming to Xbox One on June the 3rd, and that will include both planetary landings and the Engineers, bringing up to parity with Elite Dangerous on the PC.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
There you go.
Well done, everyone did that.
The amount of times people in this in the chat are going, Xbox One, when's it come to Xbox One? Well, now you know it's June the 3rd, everybody. June the 3rd, fantastic times. Not only that, everybody, but Yes, look, see, people are excited about that. June the 3rd for the Xbox players. Good stuff. I'm glad that you're excited by that too. And what's more as well, so it's also a really great time to bring your friends on board, and you can find this information on the community site. I think it should be up very, very soon in our forums on social media as well. But actually, Elite Dangerous Horizons is also taking a price drop as well.
This man has got more information than me.
Yes, so
He's got his
that's
finger on the
going
pulse.
down to, we might be a slightly little green tinge, and I might have a vampire bite on my neck, but I do have information. Yes, so I think it's going down to £19.99. I think. Don't quote me on that.
They're going to quote
that's
you on
important. You should go and check the channel, the pricing out. But it's basically coming down to the same price as Elite Dangerous. There's got a new Commander Deluxe Edition pack as well, which includes like a Commander pack and paint jobs and all sorts of stuff like that. So now's the perfect time to bring in your friends and get those guys playing as well. So there you go. There's some stuff. There's some nice things.
That's a mic
You've
drop.
got like an art. You've got the sort of compromise situation going on over here.
I think it's good. No, I think it's a nice player-driven feedback compromise.
You've got a release date on Xbox One. What more do you want? Come and have a play around with me on this in this game that we all love. Let's do it. Where am I? And you can carry on doing your questions.
Wow, so I don't know.
How do you follow that?
You don't follow that, basically. It was a mic drop of the maximum order.
Sorry, I must say as well, yes, that's the same price on Xbox One, roughly thereabouts. Just do check those prices. Don't, again, like I say, please don't take my exact quotes for it. So look at this, there's somebody's empty shell here. This is going to be a bit hectic while you're trying
Kate
to do
Jones has said, Loach Bubbleheads. I would love a Loach Bubblehead. And one of the questions I've got, someone was asking, Loach Bubbleheads. Unfortunately, it's not a thing. I mean, I'd love it to be a thing, but it's not. But maybe that's for the best.
All right.
Right, so a couple more questions then. Right, so is there any interest? This is by, I believe this may be by, actually, you know what, I don't know. This one might be by The Burn, but I apologise if it's not. My formatting has gone a bit crazy. Is there any interest in us being able to loot our own wrecked ships to salvage our lost unique? If it's unique, surely insurance would not be able to replace with an identical piece of tech. It's a really good question. It's a good consistency question. However, there's quite a lot of work in making that happen, and I don't think the bang for buck would actually be worthwhile. So I think it's quite unlikely. It would also be kind of going against some of the other systems we've got in place. But it's a great idea. Don't take it the wrong way. German 985 says, are we ever going to see fixes for mines detonating immediately after launch on their owners when in big ships? I'm going to assume that this has been logged as a bug many times, in which case it will be on the bug list. If it's not, submit a bug and please specify which hard points are causing it. Also, though, it's worth noting that the hard points on ships, placement is a thing. It is important. So there might be some hard points where it's simply not really viable. Just like if you're an Imperial Clipper and you want to put fixed guns on the nacelles, they're so far apart that don't expect to hit a ship with both of them at once. That's just the nature of the beast. And with some of the larger ships, some of the hard points do have these kind of issues. It's actually kind of inherent in the ship design. So that's just the way it is. However, if there are obvious, very egregious cases, then we will be interested. Make sure it's a bug, and then at some point, hopefully, we'll get around to it. Heisenberg 6626 says, how dangerous will it be for explorers who are far away from the bubble when typical wind hits? Should they come back before the update, or is calling the Iridium wing to escort them the last few hundred light years back home safe enough? So it's probably going to be a little bit more dangerous. The NPC ships, especially at the high levels, have been tweaked so that we've not made them a lot harder, but we've made them we've cut out hopefully most of the kind of weird bugs and odd stupid things they did. And also they can use some upgraded modules, but keep it cautious. Would be my plan. Stick to high security systems. We've also ramped up significantly the police response and power in high security systems. So they should technically be quite a lot safer if people want to, get beef with you. Absolute PK says fuel scoop modifications. Going forward, we would like to, and we will add more blueprints, especially for some of the more esoteric modules that currently don't have them. I don't know when that will be. It won't be in 2.1. So I can't tell you when will it be, but now engineers are hitting and now they're coming in. They're like other facets of the game. They'll be an ongoing thing, so they will hopefully get some attention at various points. Oh, there's a few questions here. What are these about then?
Too busy playing.
No,
playing
one
the
second.
game,
Let's
having a
just
lovely
check
time.
this. 3, 4. Right, so this is quite an important one. And so Electric Z says, any thought to bring back a sort of master outfitting stat screen in outfitting? It's really nice to see your ship's gear and stats in a single place. Doesn't even need to be selectable. It would just need to be visible. And Gina or Gena Hofoen says, for engineers, can we have a more textual format summary page after modification has been rolled? So these are similar things. So it's about basically getting information about what the actual your ship is doing and what the module is now doing, and that's been upgraded. And a few of the people I think have asked that question as well. And the answer is, I think we can all see the value in something like this. It's just a matter of timing and resources. So I can't give you an ETA or a guarantee, but I could definitely see this happening in the future. There's a potential for improvements to bring back overviews again. Tronoid on the chat is saying, naming ships, please, in all caps. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? I don't know, basically. We've talked about it a number of times in the office. Nothing at the moment. Nuno Noon says, wow, you are selecting the worst questions of all. Well, actually, I'm just kind of going through most of them in order. But I can't get all of them. I have jumped around a little bit.
All right, I'm trying to get this
So, more questions. Infidel Deity, and I believe I may have seen you in the chat like a minute ago. Can you please take away neck break? I know it's impossible to enjoy as much of the beauty of the cockpits unless you get VR. Please give us the ability to turn our heads like it is now in 2 or more. I believe it was limited for various clipping issues, but we will probably revisit this and have a look at it. So I can't promise anything, but if there's a way that we can bring it back safely, then it sounds like a good thing to do to put it back on the list. Golgot says, hey Sandy, scanning loot from ships and supercruise is a fun mechanic, thank you. Are you hoping this becomes a staple bonus activity in supercruise? And can you hint at any other colour coming to supercruise in general? I really do hope it becomes a staple. These kind of very small moment-to-moment gameplay mechanics that are very easy to do, they're actually quite satisfying that you can get rewards from them. I would love to see more stuff in Supercruise. I think I could probably speak for most of the rest of the team, and that it's something that we would all really like. I can't give you any hints as to when or what
it's just chaos.
might happen.
It's chaos happening here.
That is total chaos as well. It's just ramming
This is
people.
what happens when we try and have fun.
Also, Golgot saying, any joy in getting materials bundled into packages when spilled in combat? It's something that we'd like to do. It's apparently a bit tricky, but I don't want to put anyone on the spot. I suspect that at some point it will come.
Sorry, I'm not really painting elite the SRVs in a fantastic light here. I'm just driving around like an absolute idiot.
Face planting.
There you go. Now we're back.
Hey, he's back.
Yes.
Will the minor loot, also from Golgot, be removed as part of the Munge? Will it be reused for later blueprints? And can you tell us about mods for drones? I assume you mean limpets. You know you want to. Do I? I probably do. We probably won't use those materials, so it's okay to vent them. That's not to say there won't be more materials and more blueprints in the future. Maybe even blueprints that are for limpets. There's been some really cool ideas that people on the forums have been posting for them. So nothing at the moment, but who knows in the future. It's something we'd like to do actually. You suggested recently that limited storage may be bundled with a ship transportation solution. Any hints as to what form that might take? Is it giant, too big to dock ships? Just asking. We've got a bunch of ideas. We're actually coming to some conclusions. Just today we were talking about it. I don't want to talk about them yet though, because I'm not sure when, and it's not finalised, set in stone. But solutions, storage solutions, it's on the list. It's pretty close to a certainty, without it being a certainty, so don't quote me on that. But we do want to do it.
Too late.
Lysander Lysan says, will the UI for the Wheel of Fortune be changed to something that doesn't associate with gambling or random numbers? Only the graphics, not the mechanics. As far as I'm aware, there are no plans to change the rather pretty interface. Wolfson.
It's a fair question. All fair questions already.
None of these. Honestly, ask the questions. It doesn't matter. I can't always agree with you. I can't always give you what you want to hear, but I will try to be as truthful as I can be. Will we see, Wolfson says, shipyards be able to buy ships on planets other than currently the only planetary shipyard on iSolar? So I need to do a bit of investigating on this. I did do a quick check, and it looks like there should be around 9,000 planetary shipyards in the game. So 9,000 to 1 is a discrepancy. So maybe for the people in the chat have seen planetary shipyards, maybe they could pipe up and say, no, they are existing. So I will investigate this a bit further. I'll talk to Awesome Team Server. But they really, I don't think there is any reason why we would have locked off shipyards on planetary services. I mean, not all ports would have them, obviously. There we are. Captain Boomer, did someone say Iridium Wing? Yes, someone did mention it. I hope that helps. Any other questions coming through there? Will you be fixing the mode swapping exploit for missions? Well, says Blippy Boy, I believe that's Blippy Boy. It's actually quite a difficult one. To completely get rid of mode swapping would be, I think, a pretty significant change. We have made changes we have overhauled the mission system quite a lot, but there are levels of change, and that one goes quite to the heart of the code, I believe. It's all rather technical. We have metered missions more. There are caps for missions, and you need to get more reputation with factions. Sorry, to get more missions now. So it is metered, and it's not something we can do an awful lot more about at the moment. But it's an ongoing thing. I don't want to say never, but certainly not at the moment. Right. So what else have we got? More questions. Go through these. Shaneri, I think that's the way you say it. Does the team have any concerns about the random nature of engineer upgrades and how it will affect the fairness of player and content such as racing and buckyballing, as there will no longer be a controllable playing field? Well, I totally get the point there, but it's kind of up to the players to come to conclusions. Right now, players could, if they wanted, ignore rules and use modules and chips which other players or the consensus is it shouldn't be used. It's much the same thing. So I don't really see any way that we can support that at the moment any better. It's not to say that we won't look at it again in the future. Some more questions.
Go, Sandy. I'm very impressed. I'm trying to get up the side of the steep hill.
Another one from Gina Huffo, and I'm probably saying this wrong, aren't I? I'm almost certainly saying this wrong. Another engineer's question: does reputation with engineer decay through time? No, of course it doesn't. Commander Reaper, will we at some point be able to access bookmarks from the side panel and plot routes from there? So I talked to John Pace and Team GUI, and they have said that they would like to revisit bookmarks and spice them up a bit more in the future. I'm not sure when that would be. It's a really nice idea, what you're suggesting. So it undoubtedly will be in the mix. There might be technical reasons that will prevent it. Maybe though it could happen. I don't know. So yeah, it's a nice idea. And Andrax says, can we bookmark exact coordinates on planets so we can revisit permanent points of interest without painstaking effort with the compass? We've discussed this in the office actually on a number of occasions. Again, it comes down to an interface issue more than anything else, because I believe we can throw around fairly precise coordinates. Personally, I really like this idea, but I can't guarantee it. I can't guarantee that we will do it, because it's another little system that we'd have to add in, but it's a good one. So it's the kind of thing that I would fight for if we get spare time.
Very good.
Janessa Lorraine, is it possible to make the compass for planets appear at the moment you enter orbital cruise? At the moment it only appears once you're in normal flight at the planet's surface. It will make navigating around planets much easier, especially when calling bearings to wingmates. There might be technical reasons why it's not practical. If that's the case, do you know why? It might update too fast when flying an orbital cruise and become an unreadable blur, but it would really be hugely useful anyway. I think it's a great idea, and I don't think, he says, making a massive stab in the dark, so I could be totally wrong. I don't think it's technically impossible, so I will talk to people. I also don't know how difficult it will be and how time-consuming it will be to do, but I think that might be possible. Again, no details or guarantees.
I like it. Always. Everybody, just preface every answer with, remember, no,
Yeah, no ETAs, no guarantees. I have to apologise for saying that, but it's
no, it's okay.
I don't
Everyone
have any
understands.
options sometimes.
I think people understand.
And also, I think Clairvoyant just said, "Where is Raxler?" Well, it doesn't even exist.
Does it even exist?
I don't think it's on any of the maps
Good
anywhere,
question.
so I don't know. Well, maybe I do know, but I'm not. It's more than my job's worth. Is it possible to get a general summary screen? It's also from Janessa. For again, so yes, that's the same kind of question I think I was answering earlier. It's a good idea. We will look at it. I don't know when or how, what form it might take, but it's a valid point. So everyone that's asked that question, it's a good idea. And finally, from Janessa, in the bottom left of the HUD, when you're flying in space, it tells you the authorities and the place you're flying in. Is there a space to place a small symbol of the major superpower that the controlling faction belongs to? Again, it's a great idea. Space is very tight on those panels, but I do like it, and it's the kind of thing, again, kind of like the having the compass appear earlier. I can't promise it because there could be lots of technical reasons and time reasons, but it's definitely the kind of thing I think if we got a chance, if there was some downtime, it would be really cool. Yeah, so I think that's nice. Oh, and then a cheeky question. Can you give us any details about any work you might be doing on new SRVs? Will they get the same level of attention to handling the performance the Scarab has? You looks like you quite like the Scarab. So do I, actually. So I can't report, my lips are sealed at the moment. However, I can say that we do take our driving model very seriously for the SRV. A lot of blood, sweat and tears, almost literally, went into the driving model. So if there are any changes, if there were new SRVs, then we would definitely want to make sure that they were as fun in their own way. Next, so Babelfish. When will you implement the bobble loach? Sorry, it's not my jurisdiction. I think it'd be cool though, but I don't think we will.
I just recall my ship and it got destroyed.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna be seeing the rebuy screen at some point.
Well,
don't die in your buggy front.
I mean,
how long can you last just as a buggy? If anyone destroyed Ed's SRV now, they would be destroying him. So it'd be quite amusing.
Should we? No, we can't.
And Simon Aegis Muscat says, shout out to Mike Evans. Yes. Well done, Mike Evans. His work on the SRV and many core systems is absolutely integral, and he is awesome. So, what else we got?
I'm fair game right now in this SRV. Come and shoot me down.
If
From
watch
a ship,
out,
preferably.
Ed's got the skills to pay the bills.
I don't.
And Babelfish says, I really like the new
Not in
scavenger
SRV.
hunt, scanning for
On a
planetary
ship.
salvage missions. Could you use this system to replace the current blue point of interest mechanics? And I think a few other people said, yeah, the blue disc is a bit clunky. Why not use this? Use this. It's definitely something we can consider. I'm really glad that people like those. I think Adam and the designers that are working on the missions work wonders. So we'll see on that. But if people like it, then we'll want to use it more. Oh, here's a good one. So this one, people are going to get angry about. How do you feel
It's a
about
nice
some
way to
people?
start a question. It's a nice way to.
How do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about some people? Says KG Jedi. How do you feel about some people not liking the idea of non-symmetrical weapon builds because of randomised crafting? Basically, e.g., a third allowance with 4 pulse lasers, each having a slightly different rate of fire. And he goes on to make a suggestion to allow commanders to basically effectively synchronise weapons so that they can all fire at the same rate. And actually, there's a bunch of people took this up as a point of contention, which is really interesting. So, first of all, it's completely valid opinion. So, absolutely, some people do love the idea of synchronised fire and also of weapons that are identical. I totally understand that. So, from my point of view on this one, I think I've got something written here actually on this. Let me just find it. Yeah. So, from my point of view, it's very interesting. Engineers, as I said earlier, they are these very these kind of mad scientists a lot of time out on the fringe, and the upgrades that they perform on modules, they're absolutely not upgrades that are meant to be mass produced. So technically there's nothing broken about the way that rates of fire, non-synchronized fire works with weapons at the moment. It's part and parcel of the way the engineers work and the way they do their upgrades. I'm not opposed to the idea of some form of weapon fire synchronization, which I think in the office we've talked about, and possibly some people on the forums have mentioned. It would if we do this, and I'm not sure when we do it, but if we did do this, it would likely be at some penalty in that, slowing down faster weapons to fire in synchronously with slower weapons. At the moment, we're kind of dead set against just duplication of upgraded modules, including weapons. That was never the intention. I think we've got a really good compromise coming in the fact that we're going to allow players to choose the kind of roles they want their weapons to take by choosing experimental effects. But having weapons that are identical from the engineer, that's not really something that we ever intended. So it's an interesting one. So like I say, I know that this is a bit contentious, and a lot of people are saying, well, I want my weapons to fire at the same time. That I can kind of get behind if you'd be prepared to take some form of penalty for doing that. As for the duplicating weapons, duplicating modules, no, not really. And then this is one from the stream. PPCO says, can you please set the number of heat sinks to 0.5 in each stack so other commanders can't get rid of the heat I gave them on my thermal weapons because they're ruining my immersion by that. I don't think we're going to do that. I think I probably already upset enough people by eating one of the heat sinks off of the heatsink launchers. Any other questions that are coming through? Here's one from Ian Frostypaw, sending all the videos you've demoed, the effects and upgrades. You've always shown pairs of weapons. It's not really possible. Well, with our new change that we're going to bring in, as far as effects go, you will absolutely, if you put in the time and effort, you'll be able to choose the experimental effect that you want. So you will be able to do that. Not all of the numbers will be the same. Obviously, you can, if you don't like fire rates that don't match up, you can choose upgrade recipes that don't have rate of fire as part of their generation. So there are some alternatives as well.
I'm going to do some engineering now, not personally, but I'm going to.
Commander Arson Cross says turrets are in pretty bad tracking issues with targets enhanced ship speeds. Can you scroll that back down again?
Sorry, back up, you mean?
Back up, sorry, yeah.
Where to?
That's it. Even things as large as Pythons and FDLs, and then plan to fix this. Yeah, so we've made a bunch of improvements to the turrets that should be live now. But if it turns out they're still weak, it's something that we could look at again. Obviously, once the beta ends, then the way that we bring in any changes has to slow down for lots of technical and
balance reasons, design reasons.
Well, not just that, but also like legal reasons, I guess. And we can't just throw out updates all the time. But it's definitely something that we're open to. If it turns out that the numbers are still a bit messed up, at some point we will get back to it. That's one, we will be doing that. Update the limpets to be smarter and not fly into asteroids. Well, it would be nice. They don't go out of their way to asteroids, but limpets they have very limited flight model AI compared to ships. That's kind of on purpose. So, but we will, again, like I say, at some point, hopefully, in the future, we will be looking at engineer upgrades for drone limpet controllers and maybe some other things like that. Again, whenever we are looking at an area of the game, on occasion we can make changes that are to do with that area, but not directly to do with what we're adding or fixing. So maybe.
Sorry.
Did you die?
No. Just want to say really quickly. I think somebody mentioned in the chat about when the price drop will happen. I think it's now. I think it's happening.
Oh my goodness!
Right
get in
now.
there. Get it whilst it's hot. Scroll back up again. Oh. There's a really good question there that I want to answer. Oh no! Stop. It's to do with crimes. Oh no! I think someone was asking, and I do apologise. I lost your name. Will there be more serious penalties, punishments for players that kill other players?
It's Commander Kicks.
Commander Kicks, thank you. Good, it's a great question.
Aye, indeed.
So, obviously not for 2.1. We do have documentation which hasn't been ratified, so it hasn't been given the green light, but it's very interesting. for an additional system specifically for players, killing players, which I may have mentioned a while back in the forums. It's basically a kind of a karma system where if you basically attack other players, and especially if you're outmatching them in combat rank or ship power, then the punishment will increase because the Pilots Federation will get involved. Because basically everyone's a member of the Pilots Federation, right? Yeah. So in general, Pilots Federation doesn't really like infighting too much. It doesn't like to get in the way. But if the commander basically turns into a psychopath, then maybe they might decide, punishment might be a good thing. So it's a good one. It's not for now, unfortunately. I don't know when. I honestly don't know when that's coming. But we've got some. Yeah, we've got some ideas that I really quite like. I can't go into the details yet. Callistia says, can we have tooltips for things, stats and things like optimal mass versus mass? I guess. I don't know. That's a gooey question that I wouldn't feel comfortable answering. I can certainly see the validity of it, but I don't know. That one I'm not sure enough about to give you a solid answer. Chalito says, any plans on being able to save occupied pods aside from selling them as slaves or getting them freed? Right, so this is me speaking, not anyone else. I definitely want that. I think it's a great idea, and I really want to do it. I don't know when we'll be able to fit it into the schedule, but I think it's a really good idea, the whole concept of being able to free slaves. Slavery clearly is a very contentious issue, as it should be. But in game terms, clearly, you have two types of slaves. You have imperial slaves and normal slaves. You have players and commanders and AI that don't mind being slavers, and other ones that do. And I think it's a great source of friction and tension. So I do like that idea. I just don't know when. So some more questions here, maybe. Barking Mad says, can you outline any of the changes coming to planetary surface details or quality in future engineer-related releases? I don't have anything to add at the moment. I'm very sorry about that one. Methane says, hello Methane, says there's confusion regarding the new large and huge weapons. One of the community goals has an unlock global reward tier. Is this really about unlocking them all or just for a permanent discounted sale? Or are you going to break, or are you really going to break anyone's planned loadout by gating some of the new weapons behind community gold tiers that have not yet reached and unlikely to be reached in time? Well, the hard answer there is if it says global unlock and the community goal doesn't get completed, then it doesn't get unlocked. And I don't really make any apologies for that, because that's what consequence means in games. Not to say that that various things won't come back in various forms and there won't be other chances to do it, but that's what the community goal's for. I think probably me. I made a little boo-boo with huge burst lasers, and didn't get some information out to the awesome community goal guys. So if you see there's a community goal to unlock huge burst lasers, because I believe them is at the moment, that might still happen, but huge burst lasers in general proved a bit finicky. So if in case that doesn't happen, I think there's a backup plan, just in case anyone's wondering, and that would be my fault, not all the awesome CG guys. Methane also says, when near the ground on a planet and pointing nose down, the ship wobbles noticeably. What's the reasoning for extending this behaviour in 2.1? You can't fly in a straight line in normal flight towards a planet anymore when you're within orbital cruise distance. And well, it's actually kind of by design. So when you approach a planet and get affected by its gravitational pull, the ship's drives configure the vertical thrusters to be more powerful, to always try and help you, if you're flying level, be able to pull away and go up. Otherwise, you'd constantly be able to look up all the time just to not crash. The downside to this is other thrusters, as in your retro thrusters and other lateral thrusters, are weakened. They become slightly inconsistent. So it is actually on purpose.
Methane says that just there.
The questions, yeah. So in orbital cruise, you are being affected by its gravity.
So Methane said there the questions about space.
Yeah. So yeah, Methane, it's still pretty much, as far as I'm aware, it's pretty much on purpose. So it's not to do with whether you're on the surface or it's to do with the gravitational effect on your ship. If you fly very fast, you tend to have less noticeable trouble with, I think, the lateral and retro thrusters out of interest. It's generally speaking, the slower you go, the stronger the effect is. Winter's Archer says, decals! Is that a question? I need to know if that's a question, Winter's Archer.
I don't.
Decals are pretty cool.
Yes,
But,
I agree.
And then
I think somebody was asking
Jet
about
Slider
power
says,
ratings.
hover bikes! No, not as far as I'm aware, no.
No, sorry.
Um,
That's a shame.
So, any other questions? Oh, sorry, it's all going a bit quick.
That's just a philosophy on life, is that? Sorry.
Well, it
it's
is for
all
me.
just a bit quick.
Infidel Deity, Power Play decals! I would love them, and I hope that we get them. And I don't know whether we will, but there's been lots of talk at various points. People probably know that I'm quite a strong supporter for Power Play.
Oh yeah.
There
know
are some contentious issues, but I think it's pretty cool, and there are lots of potential changes I think that we can make to make it a lot better. I just don't quite know when we're going to get to them, but hopefully it will be at some point. Graham Webster, any clue on Vive support? Not sure. Sorry, at my remit, I have no idea. And Andrew Lowe says Stargrid release. Well, I'll get to that in a moment. So anything else from Methane?
The classic Ed Lewis shocked face expression after hearing that one.
Oh, okay. So a little from me.
Just 1 second. Lean forward for me again. You're mainly hat and loach at that point. Look, so you just look like you look like a character out of some sort of 80s fantasy movie.
Wow. That's actually an upgrade, I think, for me. Yeah, no, that's a massive upgrade. It's better than being a peach-flavoured jelly baby.
Yes.
It's true. Methane also asks, you added catastrophic effects when a ship collides with a skimmer. I think you lose your shields and you lose your engines, they reboot. Why not just make them even better at evading or immune to collision damage instead? Ships are now punished over the top, even for mere accidents. Well, I'm going to be a bit mean here, so apologies, but there's quite a lot of room on planets to fly and land and not hit skimmers. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that a lot of the time people were using their ships to trivially destroy skimmers, which really wasn't the intention. Skimmers are meant to be a decent challenge to SRVs.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention there for a second.
So we're not going to change that unless I'm totally misunderstanding. You can. Winter Champ says, but I like Grammy skimmers. I don't blame you, and it's really cool. And if you've got like a massive hull beast ship, you probably still can and get away with it if you don't mind scraping the floor for a little while or hitting them very gently. But that was an on-purpose change that I don't really think we're going to change. And in addition, just for a bit of incidental, skimmers use a very different locomotion model to ships and SIVs. Yeah. Getting them to avoid it, especially in a way that was pleasing and not just bizarre. Teleportation would be very difficult. I mean, it's obviously doable, but very difficult. And making them immune, I don't think that's appropriate either. There's just a cost now when you ram them that's a real cost.
You're not doing the best job of making Elite Dangerous look like a smooth experience, I have to say. I do actually play this game, guys.
Don't worry, you're smooth enough for all of it. Methane also says, will we see a final beta phase with all the numbers, e.g. engineer invitation requirements, upgrade material costs, at their final values destined for live? We'd like to be able to give some feedback on these. I don't think we're going to be able to do that, unfortunately. I think we've passed through a door there. I mean, I'll check to make sure that I'm not telling porkies, but I think that that ship has sailed. What else we got? Once all those done, got some more. Are we doing okay for time?
Yeah, go on. You keep going.
I'll do a few more. Apologies if I don't get onto your question.
Keep going. Just
apologies if I don't give you the
Well,
answer that you want.
We've got a while. You can, as long as people are here, are happy to hear more of. Do people want more of? Trillin says, "I keep saying I still don't believe him. I play every single day." Anyway, I don't need to. People say I keep saying that I do play Elite Dangerous. It's like I don't believe him, and they watch me play.
I've seen him play.
Right, look,
it's better than me.
I genuinely do. It's just I'm not as good as you guys. I don't need to justify myself. More people want more. Keep going.
Okay, well, I'll do a few more. Osric just said, Osric, I've got one of your questions in here. Hello, Osric.
As long as people want
thanks
more
for all the support. Will we see comics in season 2? I don't actually know. That's one of those. Unfortunately, it's one of those. It's not a beta thing. I'm kind of wrapped up in beta land at the moment, and a few secret things. So I'm not sure. I think. I hope I'm not going to get into trouble by saying I think the intention has always been at some point to get comments, but don't hold me to that. I know you guys will, but I'll deny it. Tin Man. What has Tin Man got? Oh, okay. So no, sorry, one more from Methane says at the moment upgraded drives. Oh, sorry. Why enhanced thrusters only sold at engineer bases? Why not throw non-Horizon owners and all players with 32-bit systems a bone and add them to the regular outfitting section elsewhere? It would fit nicely with the equipment selection at Jameson Memorial. It's valid. It's a nice idea. At the moment, they are for Horizons only. Part of this is
Look at that.
wow. That's a bit of a beast, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Part of
Literally no mass change.
clearly we're a business, and it would be really nice. I'd really hope that people would think that Horizons was a nice addition, and not just because you get enhanced drives, but because of all of the other stuff in there. In the future, though, it's been mooted. Who knows? It might happen at some point. Maybe we will push them out. I can definitely see it's a valid suggestion. So. Thanks for it, Mefan, and all the other people that suggested it. And also, finally from Mefan, engineer upgrades provide a new and higher ever than gear ceiling akin to a level cap raise in an MMORPG. This is a one-time affair. Do you plan to raise again in future seasons too? I'd rather the Elite Dangerous doesn't turn into yet another gear treadmill like all of the other MMOs out there. So, yeah, more or less... I mean, there's some amount of power creep I think is almost inevitable in any ongoing game that receives updates. It's very difficult to avoid it completely. With the engineers specifically, clearly there's been an increase in the top level of power that you can get with ships. It more or less it is. I hesitate to use the word one-off, but clearly the whole raison d'etre for engineers was the ability to improve your ship. It's not going to be like every update. Hey, here's another way to improve your ship. Hopefully we'll get a more varied set of blueprints as time goes on, but they won't just be getting better and better. We won't see level 6 blueprints and level 8 blueprints and 20 more engineers that give you crazy blueprints. So that's not the intention. So hopefully that assuages some of your fear. That's not to say that based on events in the game there might be occasional reasons and context why there are some ability changes or improvements, but it's not something we set out to do as a matter of course. So Tin Man says, as part of special effects, do you see the issue where effects can have the complete opposite purpose in terms of function? For example, wanting to get an offensive effect for your weapon, but instead rolling a non-offensive effect, like getting healing regeneration sequence for a laser rather than some sort of increased damage. Well, hopefully with our new change to engineers that will be coming in hopefully in an update soon after 2.1, you'll be able to choose. It will cost you some reputation with the engineer. You'll be calling in a favour with them that they won't be too happy about, but you'll be able to choose. So if you want that offensive incendiary round or whatever, you can have it.
Yep.
How about that?
We talked about that.
Yeah. So but it's probably worth reiterating. And I think it's a pretty big change.
Can't try again.
Sarah Murrell says, will we ever see a superpower war erupt? No comment. They don't like each other. But no. But maybe, but no, who knows? Mwet Diver? I don't know. I apologise for the names. Some modifications, particularly overcharged mortar cannons, heavy-duty shield boosters, give enormous benefits, much greater than other available mods for said components. Is there some rebalance plan, or is this an intended feature? Well, we've already reduced a bunch of the, based on feedback, a bunch of the upgrade values across the board. So I know for a fact shield boosters took a hit because they were a bit over the top. It's something that we'd be prepared to do again if it turns out in the long run that it's still causing us a bit of grief in terms of balancing them compared to the power of other modules. So hopefully we're making headway there. Jesuit says, how exactly does the DPS stat work? I ask this because I experienced my rate of fire going down and my damage going down, but my DPS going beyond 100%. This should technically be impossible. A little lightness would help. Unfortunately, without more details, I couldn't tell you what was going on there. Possibly a side effect could have reduced both your damage and your rate of fire. And I believe at the moment they don't actually they don't alter the values that are shown in the other in the core stats that are generated. So maybe that was the case. Maybe something went a little bit weird. My advice would be that if you see it occur, and you look and you can't think of any way that this should be possible, submit a bug for it. Another one from Gina Hafoen. Will we ever start to see engineer avatars that smile sometimes? They all seem rather dour. also, they seem rather unattractive, for want of a better phrase. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But I think folks would agree that most of these avatars ain't no lookers. That's a bit mean. I mean, where's the PG-generated, procedural generated handsome guy or anime princess? We know they exist already because we already have an anime princess at least. Can you tweak your face generation so there's less of the ugly, less on the ugly lever, please? Engineers are eccentric, maverick genius. They don't have time to worry about their looks. I don't know is the answer to that. Who knows, basically. It's an interesting question.
Specifically just doesn't like their appearance.
Oogie Boogie says, can we abandon those materials and data in 2.1 in the near future and create a micro market situation between players so we can exchange and trade rare materials between ships? Nope. You can do that with commodities. That is the reason commodities exist in the game. But at the moment we have no plans, well, never say never, we have no plans at the moment to allow trading of materials between players. Other things for materials, that's more open, and who knows where that's going to go. What else? Let's get some of the questions. I apologise if I miss out questions. I'm kind of cherry picking.
No, keep going. We've got another good. We've got some time left. I want to, as long as you're happy to go, because your voice
I'm
is
happy, but I don't want to upset you or anyone else.
You're not upsetting me. Why would you ever upset me, Sandy?
And Cleverwit says, "All hail for the ugly tree." Any other questions? So I'll just quick look on it. I apologise for not looking at the chat as much as well. Any exploration news, Sandy, says Andrew Hurst. Volcanic planets sounds pretty sexy to me, but no news yet. Well, nothing I'm allowed to talk about anyway. PPCO or PPCO, I can't say it, sorry. I would like to kill other commanders to get materials. What do you mean? At least not grind that much. Well, it's an interesting question, the whole concept of grind. I mean, it comes down to what you're prepared to put in, to what you want to get out of it. So, you know, there are lots of different ways of getting. There are multiple ways of getting some materials. So sometimes there are activities you can choose the activity you want to do. But really, wanting them from other players, wow, that's mean. Question from SAS Stalker. With regards to storage, would it be possible to simply add something as a placeholder while you sort the finer points? I'm thinking of a ship that was nothing more than a square container box with multiple slots for internal storage that has the ability to take off. Had the ability to take off removed. We could then store modules in it via the same sale buyback system we have now. I totally understand where you're coming from that. That's actually a hell of a load of work just to do that. It might be placeholder, but that's not, you know, that's basically doing a feature. Luckily, storage is quite high on our priority list, so I don't know when it's coming, but hopefully it's coming sooner rather than later. And I know that everyone wants it, so yes, we are definitely working on it.
Good stuff.
And he says also, did you know you can stop the engineer module modification by spamming the mouse button whilst the arrows move back and forth? It still uses the resources though. You may have fixed this, not had a chance to check. Well, I hope you bugged it. And also, I think the idea is that you're meant to be able to click to skip the sequence, but still get the results. So if that's not happening, then yeah, that's clear. That's a bug.
Yeah, I think I just experienced that earlier.
Did you do
literally on here? I was skipping it. I wasn't
I hope you
getting
bugged it.
Well, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Well,
sorry, I'm a bit busy right now.
What example is that?
Later.
Iroka says, are the voices in the radio chatter and the station traffic control real voice recordings or a text-to-speech implementation? I believe they are real people.
They're absolutely real.
And they're pretty awesome. Is it something, and the second question is, question 2, hiring NPC wingmates, is that something we can expect in 2016 or not? So, no ETAs, no guarantees, but we are looking at it at the moment.
That guy just got torn to pieces.
I think NPC wingmen is a cool concept,
yeah.
But
again,
I'm absolutely not going to guarantee it. Question 3: landing on atmospheric planets comes before or after walking in stations.
Brutal.
Oh, that's a difficult one.
I'm
not going to answer that, but only because I would probably be incriminating myself. So I don't know is my official answer.
Trying to escape.
Oh, there's a question I missed. Sorry, I'm going to go back to a question really early on because someone did ask on the forums, on the chat. Sorry, Where's it gone? It's the very first question almost. Huros says.
The boys got me covered.
Um,
Oh, no, they don't.
Huros says Thargoids? Question mark makes the space loach come down.
Nervous.
Thargoids.
Wow, the space loach has literally
question
come
mark,
down.
and then in
for-
brackets
is so
he's saying.
excited by this question.
He's saying soon TM is not a suitable answer. Wow, you're hedging me in here. And he's saying PS loving engineers, good work, good job. Thank you very much for that. Thank you to everyone who's said
right,
for
in
all
fact,
of the compliments. Thank you
yeah,
very much.
put
We
some
really
nice
appreciate
stuff in
it.
there. I need to get back to Gorse Grief, don't I?
So
Definitely.
Thargoids, and someone
Say
did
it,
ask.
Grief.
Someone did ask on the chat as well. Thargoids. Well, you know what? I went straight to the horse's mouth, and I asked
David Braben himself.
David Braben, and I said, you know, what am I gonna tell them?
I didn't hear it.
And David specifically said that I should say winter is coming. So there it is. Make of that what you will. I mean, maybe it's winter is coming.
Maybe he's just been watching a lot of games.
Maybe he's just addicted to Game of Thrones. I know I am. It's awesome.
I knew you were gonna get one.
Winter is coming.
I've been too
there
busy
is
watching
more. There's a lot
things like
more.
Jumanji and things like that. Watching that sort of stuff.
Wow, that's
So,
serious stuff.
It's a bit of a weird one, but
It's a lot more.
I've
It's a lot
enjoyed
more
myself.
evil and sickening.
Who is attacking me?
So
I did not shoot any policemen.
So yeah, there is more information, but you don't have the security clearance. Sorry, Huros, and everyone else is asking.
Can someone help
So
me get this guy?
I can't tell you, but
What?
winter is coming.
I'm fairly certain that I didn't shoot a policeman.
You did.
The AI is too good. Nerf the AI.
But do we nerf the AI?
For
if
me.
you want the AI to be nerfed, just put it in the thing.
Don't
we'll
nerf
just,
the
we'll just do it.
AI. Don't nerf the
Because poor old
Don't
Dad.
do
But he
that.
does play the game
It's
though.
rubbish.
He does.
Don't worry. Don't be like that. Right. My ship
That's a
is
brilliant answer.
rubbish.
Thargoids in 8 years confirmed. Oh, don't be so mean on George R. R. Martin.
Don't you?
The books are ace, and so's the show. Sorry. Arson Cross, it says, can we get bounty payouts on commanders tied to ship rebuy costs?
Probably a power play pro.
Stop making bounties dormant on death to prevent the exploits. Well, I don't really want to do that precisely, but like I said, I did mention earlier, we do have some additional...
Unwanted, that's why.
some additional things that we'd like to do specifically for Human Commander on Human Commander player killing. I think we've got some pretty nice things that we could try and do, but we're not ready to talk about them yet.
Ha ha ha, Ed pwned by the AI, yeah.
Do not nerf the AI.
No,
The AI do not, says Gluttony Fang. So there it is. You know?
Come on, guys, right, a few more questions. Let's
Okay.
15 more minutes. How about that? Is that enough time to answer a few more questions?
I'll go as long as... Yeah, no, it's fine. When you basically pull the plug,
Yeah.
and then they won't have to look at my ugly face anymore, and
No,
that'll be good.
everybody say
So,
thank you. Seriously,
yeah.
can we just say thank you? Take a second here. And
I'm not
because these
bitching, I'm
streams
just-
have been a
it's
lot
the
like
truth.
have been a lot of fun for me because I get to just come and play Elite Dangerous while Sandy talks. But I do think it's really important. Like I think it's important that we do these things and we come along and we chat to you and we get Sandy, get the designers to directly talk to you guys about the feedback that we've been getting during the betas. I do think it's really, really, really important because we care about what you think, and
We do care an awful lot.
And so that's why we
It's
want to
why
come back
we're
and
making
relate
the
to you.
game.
And so if there are answers that are coming from Sandy that are like, no, sorry, maybe later, I don't know, things like that, just please understand that we rather say that than nothing at all.
I'm trying to be as honest
Say
as
thank you.
possible.
Say thank you. Say thank you.
So I can't always get, like I say, I can't always give you the answer. Maybe you want directly. We can't always agree, but I think that's nothing that shouldn't stop us trying to be honest and get information out to you guys. So
Really
we
wish I could buy a
appreciate
better
all the feedback as well. And I think Simon McBride says that we should buff you, buff
ship.
Ed.
Really should buff me.
Well,
You know, but,
that sounds too rude, so I'm not going
I've
to do it.
already got an enhanced low power shield, so I don't even know. I can't. I forgot to buy fish.
Get those fish in.
Fish.
Right, so let's get a couple more questions then. I'll see if I can get a few more in. So Henry1491 says, will there be blueprints for more Pres 8 modules, e.g. increased fuel tank, cargo bay, that kind of thing? Well, the only downside is extra weight means you can be what you can carry. Well, we do in the future want to add more blueprints.
Just to point out to you, Sandy, you should read this. People are saying
Thank you.
very
Well,
much. Someone says thank you, Uncle Sandy from Belwolvie.
it touches me here.
Are you someone's uncle?
What was that? Sorry.
Thank you, Uncle Sandy.
I am an uncle, but I don't think unless you're
Oh,
like
Sandy,
very
you
young,
came
I
in.
don't think I'm your uncle.
Unless he's very young.
Ch-
You're not spring chicken, Sandy.
Wow! That's like maybe put my... Oh my goodness. Although he's right.
So sorry, oh my
Look.
god, they've just died.
It's all over.
That's how sad
Right,
they are
okay,
about my
back to the
comment.
back
I'm
to the
so
questions. I'm getting a weird telepathic vibe from Zorse saying I'm wasting too much time.
sorry. No, you
So right, so
just having too much fun. I do apologise.
look at that. Gluttony Fang says make Loach and Zorse purchasable now, and he'll buy 10 copies
Yeah.
each.
Yeah.
Should I just do that as a Kickstarter? I think that the company would let me.
Hey, collections. Whoa. Where did you get these guys from?
These
not
are unique.
expect- Wow.
They're unique one-offs that were made for me by
A previous somebody who worked there. Right?
yeah, someone who's worked here. That I think their mum, and that was awesome. Basically,
Shield generator is already massive, so I don't understand why my shield generator just popped in a
Mr.
second.
Walk says, can we get scanner data on planet composition,
Reinforced.
rock and metal types that make colours, not micromaterials from orbit? Well, we are looking at, I don't know when, but we are looking at improving exploration, so possibly that kind of thing may have been discussed at various points already. So, what else we got? Quick questions. Phil kind of accent upwards afterwards. You seem to have add an eye on taking out the frequently abused method of grinding major faction rank, superpower rank, with the updated air defense and ram-proof skimmers when assaulting bases. Obviously, this makes things like Cubio base assaults much harder to achieve solo. Yes, that was the intention. Have you also nerfed the corresponding federal rank game methods such as the infamous Ton or 17 Draconis charity missions? We've overhauled the missions quite a lot, so I think you'll find that they're not quite as prolific as they used to be. Those kind of changes actually to missions, they're mainly server side, which means they can happen at any time behind the scenes. You might not even know. And missions is an ongoing task, so we might, in the future, I'm sure we'll be making more changes. And we do want to get to, at some point, naval progression and bring out the beast in that, which I believe may well supersede a lot of these issues directly in a very good way. But nothing more to talk about that at the moment. Rumpage. Clearly this update is focused on making the combat in the game more dynamic and interesting. Why not increase the logout timer from 15 seconds to a minute or so, or just have it reset every time a player takes damage? It's really deflating when you're attacked by players or pursuing a bounty and they simply log off as soon as they've lost the upper hand. And what's worse, it makes those of us who are honourable enough to accept a loss and pay our rebuffs feel like suckers, when others can simply log off within 15 seconds with no consequences. It's not easy earning credits in this game. I paid around 200 million in rebuys. Well done. In my elite career, it's super unfair to those of us who stand the game that others can simply log off and avoid rebuy costs altogether. We might increase the timer. It's something that I've talked about with various people. It's especially now that some of the ships, ships can get tougher. We might get around to doing that. I don't think it's a particularly difficult thing to do. I'm not going to say when we're going to do it, or that we're definitely going to do it. But this is something that, it's a valid point. We may well do it. Just like some of the systems that we're thinking about for improving, how human commanders fighting human commanders works, improving punishments for them where appropriate, and looking at things like combat logging, where people ungracefully exit the game and pull the network connection or alt for the game. Those things, those two things in particular, we don't really like. It's quite hard to stop them, but we can do various telemetry detection, and or we already do. But in the future, we do have some ideas on automating that and having punishments that are more in game. So I think that could be a good thing, but I don't want to go into any detail because I don't know when, and who knows. There's a long journey between. Many slip between cup and lip, as they say.
Don't tell Sandy, but I just quit power play.
You just quit?
Left
because you were
power.
getting attacked.
Yeah.
That's a really good question, Ed. Thanks for asking that.
Good.
One of the things that we are looking at in the future as part of the power play update is the ability to join a power and not be forced to do power play. Basically, be able to go incognito for a while.
I'm really glad I accidentally asked that question.
So I think that's something that I think will help. Yep. Clearly we want more variety in power play as well, but there are some nice quality of life features that we want to do. What else we got? Red 5 says, love the new bookmark feature on the Galaxy map. Is there any chance that bookmarks can be added as their own category in the navigation panel in the left, in the cockpit? I'm assuming next to System Map and Galaxy Map. Being able to quickly select one of my bookmark locations from the cockpit would be a huge efficiency increase from having to go to the Galaxy Map. Or does the route planner not work that way? Yeah, it's an interesting point. I don't actually know. It may well be that the route planner requires the Galaxy Map to fire up and do various things. Maybe not. It's a valid point, and as I think I said earlier on, Team GUI, at some point, they've said that they may well be able to get back to bookmarks and add improvements like filters, and this will be possible. I don't know though for sure, so I don't quote me on that.
Well, I think that with everything that you've seen in the 2.1 update, I feel like people should be, I think, have some faith in what those guys can do.
Oh, they're amazing.
Have a lot of faith is what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those guys are
you don't need to have faith in me, but their faith in the other teams is brilliant.
Well,
that's one. With Soon TM says with 2.1 players and 1.6
Soon on the forum.
Soon TM
Oh.
with 2.1 players and 1.6 players all sharing the same world, will 1.6 players be subject to having to fight upgraded NPCs that have engineer modules? Yes,
Back to Zinker.
they will. However, engineer upgrades for NPCs, they don't get the experimental effects, and they have a smaller subset. And also, they have to have them rolled. They have to generate them just like everyone else. It's not like we cheat on them in that sense. What we really do is we say they have a limited access to upgrades. If so, do you think it would negatively affect a 1.6 player since they can never even the score? They don't have access to engineers without paying real money for Horizons. I really hope that some of them might want to think about Horizons. But if not, don't worry too much. Upgraded modules are only part of the equation when it comes to a fight with an AI ship, with an NPC ship. Skill and the actual ship and modules that are used play a very big factor. And because the NPCs they have a limited subset, I wouldn't call it a game changer. It can make them tougher, especially at the high levels, because also NPC ships tend to have more and better upgrades. The more powerful and better they are.
I have to say, with that price drop though as well, down to
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, not that I'm forcing you to.
No. I don't. Keep Sandy in a job.
That's good news.
This is the live stream. That's next week's live stream. Keep Sandy in work.
Also, from Soon TM,
kind of
when
job.
can we expect? I should be just saying soon as the answer to all these. When can we expect to be able to transfer our other ships close to us, so we won't have to fly hundreds of light years to change ships? I desperately want this edition, please. So do I. Desperately want this edition, please. Hang on a minute, I'm meant to be doing it. It's slated for season 2.
Oh, fantastic.
I really hope we get around to doing it as soon as possible. I think it's a really good thing. So yeah, I'm totally with you. You are on the right track, Soon TM. Era says, engineer RNG remove? No. Material markets? No. And engineers of 5th rank? No. But they're all valid questions.
Yeah.
They're all suggestions, but we don't have any plans for that.
That was the most disappointing 30 seconds of my life.
Unfortunately, material markets, especially for players, no. We do have potential ideas for materials in general that would widen their use or your ability to get them and manipulate them, but not those things. Dinsey, hello Dinsey.
Hey Dinsey, good to
how's it going? Are there any plans to make it possible to select several identical weapons and modify them at the same time?
Consistent shield soak analysis.
So, no. I'm sorry, Dinsey. It's a cool concept behind the engineers, as I've said a couple of times probably, is that they perform these very ad hoc fine-tuning upgrades that you don't really replicate. It's they utilise every scrap of material of how they're going to make it better.
Pretty
so
sure
they can't
Shield
do
of Justice who got me last time.
Is it a player?
No.
Shield of Justice.
But it seemed, I think,
Oh right, no.
because I think it's the same guy who's hanging around here, but he's not interested
crush
in
him.
me today. Can't crush him. He's clean.
So. Yeah, sorry, but with we don't have any plans to duplicate. Like I say, there is the fire rate, there is the rate of fire synchronization, which is something that I think I'd be prepared to consider. But it's kind of the point when you go for these, you're making your ship very unique. If like I say, you can avoid rate of fire upgrades, or you can bite the bullet and go with it, or not have those, not upgrade certain weapons. it's part of the cost, Dinsey. So sorry about that, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Philip Parker, yeah, Shield of Justice is one of the power play ship types. That's why why he was hammering me every single time.
Yeah, well, he was a Shield of Justice. What you'd expect? It's probably from like a Rissa, probably some empire. All these people that think that there's an imperial bias. Right? I am a federal sympathiser, quite an open one, so there is no imperial bias.
Lead designer.
It's everything I struggle daily with, forcing myself not to give the Federation the true love it deserves. Any other questions? Let me have a quick look. Will we be able in future to choose which NPC will represent our minor faction? How he looks, what his name is. Well, if that's to do with player factions, I don't know. Is the answer there? It's a nice idea. No idea how it would work though.
Well, you're aware of the dangerous games, right?
The dangerous games. I'm aware of the dangerous games.
Yeah, of course. Well, the dangerous games is it's going to be the first time that.
Hang on a second, sorry. After the Blippy Boy did have a rash on my arm, what cream should I use? That sounds a bit like a Naked Gun style question, and if it is, Top Banana,
well done,
Zorse and Loach approve. Sorry, dangerous games.
Yeah, they're just sorry, I've got some enemies here, guys, so make sure that you're covering me. Cover my back. Dangerous games, of course. Well, it's going to be the first player faction to become a power, and they're going to work with the artists.
Yeah, so when I say I don't know how it would work, all I mean is I don't know what format it will take.
Okay.
So I don't know how
what
the communication works. Oh, it's on. It's on like Ron.
As is this.
CQC, Cocolaric says CQC updates, Sandri.
Sandri.
Not almost my name. That would do.
Who's Sandri?
Unfortunately, nothing to tell you at the moment. There's a question. BTK worthy, and I think I've got one in here as well. Let me just see if I can quickly find it. It's one of the later ones.
You know that improved AI I was talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on.
Bear with me. I'm just trying to find something. I'd like to get the name. That's all. Too many questions.
Too many questions.
I
Commander name. I can't take on Commander name. That would be unfair of me. Everyone's been very polite and not
well,
attacking
unfortunately, I've lost the question. So I know what the question is, but I don't know who asked it. So whoever asked it, thank you for that question. Someone was asking, and BTK Worthy was saying, well, what about the ship kits? What about these extra things in outfitting? To which my reply is, are you sure they're really there? I mean, I saw a picture that the person posted, but I think they maybe photoshopped it. So, or maybe it's a mass hallucination.
I think it's probably
so
mass
I
hallucination.
have nothing more to add on that, unfortunately.
Guys, where are we up to here, Sandy? You got a couple more questions. One final question. Let's pick a final one from it. And again, I want to say a massive thank you for everyone who's come along here in the chat to listen to question from Galmidden. Sandro, what would you like to ask us? Says Galmidden. What question would you like to ask the chat?
Wow, I don't know.
Yeah, you answered you spent all this time answering
that's really
questions.
weird. I don't. I hope everyone's enjoying it. I haven't really got a question. I just hope everyone's having some
Are
fun.
you having a nice time?
Yeah, are you
enjoying,
a nice time?
Are you talking about, not right now, but also beta?
Is beta and this stream a worthy thing? I need self-confirmation.
I know, so do I. I mean, we've got 750 people.
Zorse. Oh, wait, here's a question.
Going mad.
Zorse or Space Loach?
No, you can't.
No, I know I shouldn't, but it can sometimes happen.
Hello, guys. Thank you for look. It went from being really intense when I went into that nav beacon to not being able to find anyone who was wanted.
Thank you very much for some of those answers. Thank you. And Kung Fu Ferret, you're right. It is Space Loach. Space Loach was the first. He was the Alpha and the Omega. Zorse is, he's cool. I'm down with that.
Cool. Well, I know. I'm glad.
Winter is coming 2.2.
Winter is coming.
Well, winter's coming.
The winter update.
Winter is coming. That's it. Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
We're doing it again. We're doing our Jon Snow impressions again.
You know nothing because I won't tell you. Sorry. No, neither. Wow.
We've just been rammed by somebody, I think. Oh, this is happening.
Kung Fu Ferret says any update
Not
on the
even
military
looking.
career mission overhaul. Sorry, nothing yet, but it's definitely on the list. Whoa!
Something just happened. Something just exploded.
Are we still around?
No. Oh yeah, we're still here. Sorry.
Oh, right, sorry.
I accidentally closed that down. Sorry, there you go. Yes, there you go. The chat's back.
Never lose my adorable smile. I've got a face for radio, whoever said that. This smile is like crooked and weird.
Oh, that's not true.
But I try and smile a bit.
Did I just get griefed? Was that grief? You just got me.
Grief. Oh my goodness, grief. You did it. It had to be done.
Grief. After all this time, all this support that you've given me. Yeah, well, I think that's good. Good for you.
Where can we hide?
I'm pleased. Hide from what?
Yeah,
well. Let's not go anywhere. Let's not.
No,
you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what I'm
talking. The winter is coming. Comment. Where can they hide?
Oh,
but
right.
We can't say. That's all we know.
Oh my goodness! I didn't catch the reference. I do apologise.
Yeah, these live streams are
because
expensive.
Everyone's dobbing in griefer.
It's griefed. He's
griefed. Everyone's dobbing him in. Griefed.
Yeah, someone wrote griefer.
Good griefed.
Good griefed. Griefed is a regular on these live streams to the point where he's on every. I think he's watched every single one for like the last year.
Yeah, all these long-time supporters. A big shout out. Big doff my cap. It's like, thanks for the support.
Yeah. Great stuff. So, thank you everybody for being here, and thank you, Sandro, for coming along and answering these questions.
It's my pleasure. I'm really sorry I didn't get through all the questions.
To the point where you could have probably carried on answering a lot of questions for like another hour.
There was more, but we have to otherwise draw to an end at some point, I guess. I'm sure there'll be more at some point in the future. Maybe not with me, but
well, we've got the beta coming. Let me reiterate again one more time just before we leave. Thursday, May the 26th. That's next week, everybody.
OMG.
Next week, which is super exciting. Everyone's going to get their hands on.
So you're telling me
everyone who has access to
it's coming out? There's price drops. It's launches.
Price drops down to £20,
Heavens.
whatever that is equivalent in euros, and it is on the site. You can see it on the Frontier store right now. Head over there because the price drop is. I think it's active now. I think I was given the go ahead by somebody came around. So I haven't seen any humans. I haven't seen anybody else. But somebody came and knocked on the window and went like that. So I think that means good, or does it mean zero? Like no. No.
Yes.
The 26th is when you can all be playing Lead Dangerous Horizons 2.1.
2.1. Have you lost the plot?
I lost my words for a second. The amount of times I've said 2.1, I just forgot what it was. And it's one of those things where you say it so many times it loses all meaning. But yeah, of course, price drop as well, which is absolutely amazing. And the new Commander Deluxe Edition, which is both Elite Dangerous and Elite Dangerous Horizons in one package.
Seriously?
And there's a Commander paint job pack as well, which I think is 18 paint jobs in there. And you can actually buy that paint job pack as well separately on the store too for about £13.
Wow. Actually, that was a question someone did ask. That was like, what's with the paint jobs? Where's the paint jobs coming?
These
I guess they're still
more
coming.
paint jobs. They're previous paint job packs just lumped into one for a cheaper price, which I think is really good. And then, of course, which is, I think, one of the most wonderful bits of news here that we've got, it's on June the 3rd, Xbox One players will be playing Elite Dangerous Horizons with Planetary Landings and Engineers all together at the same time for around about the same price, around about £20, which I think is
lovely.
So great. So great. So thank you everybody for the chat in the chat and for asking all the questions in the forums and things like that. We're going to do lots of these streams. You know we are. More. We've definitely got a launch one happening as well. If there are any server downtime, of course, we'll be on here. We'll try and even grab David Braben himself in for a little bit of a chat. He hasn't been on for the stream for a while, so it'd be really great to bring him back in and to maybe say lots of things like winter is coming and things like that.
Which I think
we should try and persuade him to say.
You've got to say it in a
get
Jon
him to
Snow.
try and say it in a Jon Snow voice.
I'd pay good money for that.
All right, guys.
Good money.
And maybe we'll bring back some Educating Ed series soon as well, and do some more of the CQC live streams. So we've got plenty of these things coming up for you guys, and I hope that you still enjoy them because I really, really do enjoy doing them, especially the ones where I get to just play the game while Sandy talks. They're my favourite. All right. Well, thank you everybody, and I will see you sometime next week. Take it easy. Bye. Thank you, Sandy. Bye. Thank you very much again. I must remember to say thank you.